and welcome to another episode of the Web3 Experience, a special one in that we're here with the Alpha Pro Club. We're here with Gianni, the creator and founder of Miami NFT Week. We're here to discuss all of the exciting things happening in the Miami area in the coming weeks and months. So excited to get into the discussion.
Hi, Gianni. How are you? Thank you so much for taking your time, making it here. We planning, it was like 2-3 weeks planning which day we want to choose. But yeah, excited for what is going on, especially with Miami NFT Week. We are doing a lot of stuff around Miami NFT Week. So what we're doing is we're wrapping a Lamborghini Urus live, but it's not just that we're wrapping it. We're actually letting the community, for the designers on the Web3 space, to go and do a design, right? Whatever they got in mind. Actually, we already closed the submissions. We're gonna put some pictures of what we have got so far. But then it's the own community that is deciding, which one it's the winner. And me personally, I think it's an amazing opportunity for an artist that yesterday I was watching a video of this guy in Vienna. He's like in the main square in Vienna, whatever. He's just recording. He's like, hey, just please go to Alpha Pro Club Discord, support me, vote for my design. I want to go and make it to Miami. And I hear the story of this guy. He's a guy that is throwing an NFT collection, and
he's a Latino that's over there. He's like, hey, I'm here in Vienna.
Not really though. Like the guy is like super local. Like you could tell he's super local. But so he's an NFT project, but it's a one-man show. Like he was explaining. He's like, look, I do the design, I do the website, I do the roadmap. Like everything that you see about my collection, it's done by me. And I think that's something that you have to give the credit to this guy because especially us right now that we're working like day and night on our project. Like we see how hard is it to make things happen on this space. So seeing a guy that it's trying to make it by himself without any excuses, like, oh, I don't have the budget, or I don't have the team, he's just going for it. I think it's a really good story. I'm actually hyped for him to win. I want him to win though.
My heart is there. Yeah,
right.
So we have to say thank you to Holders Gallery as well.
Oh, of course, Mickey. Yes, Mickey, bro. we are here from Wynwood. Mickey is the owner of Holder Gallery. We are doing a lot of cool and crazy stuff with Holder Gallery lately. We're throwing a party. We're gonna do a party opening from Miami NFT Week. It's gonna be in Miami Music Week, so that's Saturday. It's gonna be a nice party. We're bringing a nice DJ. We just wanna show, our holders that Miami Music Week, party style, that it's really good. It's international. Like a lot of people come just for that weekend. But we're not here to talk about the party. We're here to talk about Miami NFT Week.
No, let's talk about the party.
No. It's a Miami NFT Week party.
Everything is a party.
Talk about it. Let's do it. I like partying.
I mean, Miami NFT Week is March 31st to the 2nd, and it's the second year that we're doing it. Last year was the first, and it was actually an answer to Bitcoin, the Bitcoin conference that we had here. Right, a lot of people come do conferences. They use Miami as a place for an attraction, right? Like if you're gonna do a conference, where are you gonna do it? You're gonna do it where people wanna go have fun, they wanna go eat, they wanna go to the beach. And so that's what happens, and that's fine. But they also don't try to find people that are entrepreneurs or creators or people doing stuff in that thing that they're doing. And so number one, I didn't like that they didn't allow other things other than Bitcoin to be talked about, like NFTs and Ethereum. I also didn't see a lot of the people that are from Miami. A lot of the faces, this is the faces of Miami right here, where you're seeing, I didn't see that. And so I had been helping Mayor Suarez on a couple different things. I had this idea. I had bought the domains like any good marketer does. You buy domains first. Yes. You have an idea, you buy the domain, you don't know what's gonna happen. One day you say, oh, I got a domain for that, right? And so I did have the domain for it, and I asked the mayor's team to see what we could do with it, and they introduced me to my two partners, Eric LaPaglia and Ted Lucas. Ted Lucas is the founder of Slip and Slide Records, which is like an institution in Miami that brought people like Rick Ross and Trick Daddy and all those kind of like acts. But it's a Miami story. He started young and he moved in and he saw an opportunity to like give back and not allow like other generations to not take advantage of the stuff that we're taking advantage of by knowing about crypto, knowing about blockchain. And so we got together, we're like, let's try to do it. It was a short amount of time. And last year, within 9 weeks, we'd never worked together. The people that we brought on to help us had never worked together. And we put together that conference that drew like 5,000 people. We had Mark Cuban speak.
I went to the Bitcoin conference, the first one here in Miami. It was 2017. It was crazy. It was a lot of projects that are right now like so big exchanges and everything were there, like born in there. For example, Uphold, born there in the Bitcoin conference here in Miami. So it was different.
It have a lot to do with what you just said, that the mayor, right, help you.
So the mayor, I think during the pandemic, because I don't know if it's Latinos, we don't like to be told what to do. And, we're like, oh, pandemic over there, and like, come over here, we're ready for you. And not for anything, I like to say that I think the success that we had is that we're all immigrants here in Miami. And what happens when you're an immigrant? Nobody's from Miami. Well, I was born here, so I don't know if I'm a native, but we all know how to deal with, people from Venezuela, people from Cuba, people from Haiti, from Jamaica, from wherever. When those families come, you always embrace them. You try to give them jobs. I know for a fact that every one of their cultures, there's someone from your country that's come, and they come and say, oh, I'm Venezuelan, or I'm Cuban.
That's correct. No, and you know what? Like talking about that, I think Miami lately it's a different migration. After COVID, I think it's a lot like internally. People from New York and LA merging here. That's why Wynwood and Edgewater and Brickell prices, rent is just through the roof. So I think that opens a new door, right? Like a new market for Miami. Because me personally, I believe this might be a group, right, that is more interested in crypto and Web3, etc. And as Miami as kind of like a Wall Street of, crypto and NFTs, etc. So, and I was, watching information about that. There is a lot of billion-dollar companies transferring to Miami, and then these people are getting, billion-dollar company salaries. So like the buying power of people in Miami, it's growing. That's why like everything is super expensive, because for people that lives in LA or New York, Miami is cheap. And for us here locally.
Yeah, but we still have. We gotta go to Hialeah. We gotta go to Homestead. Miami, Doral. I mean, Miami's huge, so there's still
room to grow. There is a lot of room.
And I think a cool thing, like you mentioned with the immigrants, almost in the same way, the technological immigrants. How many people have now flocked to Miami strictly because of what Mayor Suarez has done and all the initiatives and the energy that he's putting into, come on, if you're into blockchain, you're into crypto, come on. Miami was going, but in general, they really want to develop that hub, and it's incredible. The same way that you would welcome people from another country that share your background, it's the same energy you get as a crypto or technology native coming to Miami. You get welcomed with open arms. I mean, they have the happy hours.
And being a touristic city with so much art, I think the art is a big influence in this NFT movement here in Miami. So that's why there are galleries opening here, and people interested in not only in physical arts but in digital art. That is a new thing. It's not easy to understand for a lot of people, but I think in the meantime, people will understand what is this about, and that's why I'm so grateful to be part of Miami NFT Week, because that gives the importance of what are we doing in the space right now. And this city is like the center of artists and in the NFTs.
No, and for example, what you're doing for us, for example, because I'm on the other side. You are actually giving the room to me, right? To me, and of course more companies. We're just talking about myself, to actually show all this, first the visitors of NFT Week, 5,000 people, but not only the 5,000 people that, it's gonna be there physically, but also, all the people that is gonna be actually watching the event. So you are helping, companies and projects and just creators, that they want to make it, they want to make it work, they want to show, what they're doing, what they're working, and especially in a city, like Miami, that I see it's a really entrepreneurial, city. Like a lot of side hustling people, a lot of people hustling.
Some people said that came from like New York and California. I saw one guy comment and say, yeah, people in Miami are hustlers. But then I responded in a sense like, we're hustlers, but that's a good thing, because we also know how to pick out who's not someone you want to work with. Hustlers know other hustlers, right?
Especially in
that's the reality.
A beautiful aspect of Miami, and like you said, the immigrant journey of how many people, you know, flock here for freedom, for independence, for opportunity, right? A lot of countries don't even offer opportunity, let alone financial stability in their countries. And all of these people coming from around the world, you get different perspectives in terms of culture, technology, just people being people, right? So you just get all of this big clash of culture and these new ways of innovation. That's why Miami is becoming a tech hub. And the Mayor Suarez, he's a younger mayor who's very willing to help the community in educating, showing up for these small events, going to Laura's event, you know, 2 weeks ago, 100 people there, just educating people on the future of tech, just trying to bring the innovation here more so than others.
And I guess that also pushes businesses like us, you know, that we don't really have anything to do with Web3, you know, 2 months ago. And now we're just like fully invested into it. But, you know, from my perspective, how I see it, you know, since I'm doing it, I see that it makes a lot of sense for businesses out there to actually make that merge and, you know, adapt their business to these new technologies. So I think it's just a matter of time, you know, that everyone is just finding in place. And I think the mayor and Miami as a city, it's doing like a nice playground, you know, for companies like, let's say, Mickey. You know, Mickey's 24 years old, and he have a gallery in Wynwood, you know, because he believes in this. You know, he believes in this. He go.
It's a beautiful. Whoever's watching this, you can't see the gallery, but the gallery is gorgeous, and it's in the heart of Wynwood.
Yeah, and yeah, that's the main thing. You know, it's not like because you could be in Wynwood, but this guy, he's literally like Wynwood Walls is like right here. Yeah, it's 2 blocks. Yeah, it's 2 blocks away. 2 blocks away. We were talking.
Thing, no, that we are here with brave people because starting a project like Miami NFT Week in a space that is not easy at all, and opening a gallery with the NFT behind them, it's not easy. You need to be brave because there's going to be a lot of people that don't understand the space, that they're gonna fight us, like we said in the space. Because now that's everybody thinks it's a scheme or Ponzi's or a pyramid, or they don't understand what is behind a Web3 project when it's real. That's why I joined Alpha Pro Club, because they have a Web2 business. We are here to demonstrate people that we can build something in Web3 where with IRL benefits. IRL benefits. It's easy. It's like when you use your debit card on, for example, on Amazon. You are using your debit card, okay? But you can go to the store and buy with the same card. That's the same thing with an NFT. Yeah. You can use it online, but you can use it in real life. It's simple.
Yeah.
We can demonstrate that.
And for companies and people who may not feel strong about that or keep hearing about the technology, want to understand, going to a conference, you know, Miami NFT Week, I know a lot of us, I met my core team for my business at your conference, you know? So you go to these conferences, you get that knowledge, and then you meet the people that you can build with for the future. And that's the most important thing, is a lot of people are just swayed by negative media, you know, just one-sided media.
There's always negative media.
Always, yeah.
You say, before you call me an elder, and I'm gonna bring it back. Back in my day, we had beepers. You guys never had a beeper. But you know what my mother said? My grandmother got me, abuela me lo compró. And my mother's like, that's for drug dealers and doctors. Okay, but the thing is, young people do other things with their beepers, right? What do? We started communicating with a beeper. 143. We started, you know, all those other numbers that mean other things that you want to do with the other person that you want to hang out with, right? You have those things, and that's how you communicate it, you know?
Guys adapted around, and it's always the newer generation that adapt.
Used it for something else, and then websites started coming out, and you had to like buy something online, and people were like, you're putting your credit card in there? They're gonna steal your, oh my God, did you hear the story of the guy that got that whatever? You know, no, I don't need a website. I have a fax machine, you know?
Eventually, everyone is gonna fall in place, and they're not gonna have another option to adapt. That's actually what I was talking to Mickey. I was like, look, when that moment arrives, your business model is gonna make a lot of sense, you know? Because it won't be an option anymore. It will be like, oh, I might do it. Yeah, we're gonna wait a little bit. You know, it's like either you have to or you're out of business, you know? It's the same with companies like IBM, you know, or companies that they never adapted. You know, they thought that they had something that it was never gonna, you know, fail, or even like companies like Kmart or stuff like that. You know, Sears. You know, they thought that they were gonna be the kings forever, and they didn't want to adapt. And then, you know, they got companies like, I don't know, Target and Amazon, of course. But Amazon is like, you know, but even, like in that, period of time, people innovate, and then at the beginning, it's not comfortable, right? It's never comfortable. It's gonna be hard. You're gonna lose money. You're gonna go crazy. But if you believe enough, if you believe enough.
But you know what?
you're
I want to hear about the gallery though. Like
Yeah.
what inspired you to open this, and how's that journey been?
Well, one of the beautiful things and one of the reasons that we're here actually is because it unifies people in a totally different way. And I think Web3, which is one of the reasons we just met like not too long ago, and because we're the same industry, same community, we have the same mindset. That's one of the reasons that we just, I mean, sort of like best buddy. I mean, I read, so like,
Let me tell you a story. I'm on Twitter, like finding these creators and artists and people who are like really active and they have something different. And I found a girl that she did a song and she sold it on OpenSea. And I contact her, sent her a DM, hey, are you in Miami? If you want to come to the shop and know what are we doing with Alpha Pro Club, you can meet us. And she left the gallery that day, went to Alpha. She met us. I was there like for 2 minutes, then I leave.
And then she told me, like, I have these friends that they have an NFT gallery in Wynwood. And I'm like, NFT gallery in Wynwood? And she said, yeah, it's right in Wynwood. And I was like, damn, okay. And she said, no, you should definitely meet. And then we created a WhatsApp group. And then we start talking like 2 hours. The day after we meet, we meet like from 2 p.m. and then all the way until like 12 a.m. just talking and planning. And we're going to LA together next week for LA NFT week.
crazy, like we just been talking for on a daily basis, and one of my all of my best buddies that I've met in Web3, like we've been through like RL events. That's one of the reasons that I really want to build something, especially in the heart of Linwood, because like I said, there's a ton of big community. In Miami, there is like a big black community that is actually evolving, and I really like this, and I feel that people that actually come here actually feel this because like I did it with all my heart. The team behind it and everything, and that's one of the reasons. Like
what you're doing right now for us here, you're putting up a space together for us to discuss about this technology, about Web3, about economy, about like million stuff. So I believe
making when this matures a little bit and people can do what I told you that last time, like, okay, you're gonna have your NFT, you're gonna go to whatever places, you're gonna use your NFT, so this makes sense.
Exactly, it's an easier way to actually connect people through an actual tokenization of the thing. So when you actually hold something that makes you feel part of a community, which some in Web2, there's no like that type of like connections that make you feel that way. So I just find it very interesting. I started like 2 years ago investing in like different artists and stuff, and that made me involved more into the Web3 community. And then 6 months later, I presented this idea of like to my best buddies at school, and then we actually built this. I've been basically.
he just graduated from UM, literally like 6 months ago. So he graduated, and and now that you said that, I feel like pretty much like everyone that is in this space trying to work, it gets related really quick. It was the same story when we did the podcast with you guys, like because it's kind of like. They are doing their own thing, but we're doing the same. They're doing their own thing, but we're doing the same. We're grinding, we're working, we're putting in the work. These guys are creating content all the time. They're, they're not trying to collaborate just with everyone. They're actually trying to put like valuable content out. Things that people want to hear. And that's why I think when we meet someone that is trying to do the same than us on the same space, we get related so quick. And just crazy ideas start coming. Like with every single person that we have been, in contact lately, like the last month, that related to Web3, all the relationships are just been amazing. Like
Isn't it interesting when you think about like any technology, like when websites came out, or in the beeper came out, or all these interesting things, but this particular technology has the opportunity
to bring people together. Yeah.
There's no other I was telling you guys, like I had t-shirts that made of Bitcoin and Ethereum and Doge. Like I wouldn't it was kind of ugly to put a $sign on my shirt, right? But if I have a Bitcoin shirt, or I have a Dogecoin shirt, or I have some Bored Ape thing, there's some identity that lifts up my philosophy of life, right? And if I see the name of your gallery, I know exactly what it means, right? and it draws you in. And then if they don't know what it is, okay, well, let me tell you about it. Let me tell you about blockchain. Let me tell you about NFTs, you know? And by the way, with a gallery like this is the future. Like, people don't realize what, you know, and I know you're probably innovating some interesting things, but, you know, I envision at some point, you know, with the stuff I did with people in Cuba, for example, there could be people in Cuba that make their own makeshift gallery, right? And they display their artwork, but maybe here in your gallery, we have a Cuba art gallery where the artists could be over there and they could be over here, and the same art's being displayed in both places and interacting, and potentially even the purchase of an artwork from a country, like we were talking about, a country that may be in turmoil, right? Where we can buy it from here and support an artist over there that may not have that freedom. Like, those are the things that make us come together. You know, that freedom. With one Cuban artist in Cuba, I always say NFTs gave him the feeling of liberty and freedom, because he didn't have to ask permission from the Ministry of Culture if he could do it.
From the opposite side too, like you said, we could have a window into another location, a traditional art gallery going back 20 years ago. You see what's on the wall, that's it. Now you can display NFTs from another side of the country. You can have a window at a metaverse component where you can actually step into a gallery virtually and see things from all over the world. And that's completely new. It's the evolution of traditional art gallery.
They're not limited by the people that walk into the gallery physically anymore, because you could even have a digital twin simulation in the metaverse that people are going to. And you brought up Cuba. Cuba has a law decree. I think it's like 347. I don't know, but it's basically caps artists' creativity. Like, they have to run it through the Ministry of Culture, and if it's too expensive, the government's taking a cut, or they're not even able to sell it. So, like, a lot of countries don't have that opportunity to get their art exposed in public. Like, I'm sure a Cuban artist can't say, oh, I have all these pieces, I'm just going to go start my own gallery or open up a pop-up. No, it's not that easy. Not as easy as it is here. So, like, offering a digital medium for them to interact with people and collectors and build a community with them, because they can verify who buys their art now.
Yeah, that's
like, when somebody buys your art in real life, you're not connected after that fact.
No, and it's what he says, you know, it's the future. So we're still early, you know, we're taking a bit early, he's taking a bit early, but I feel it's kind of like the same as, you know, all these now companies that are $1 trillion, you know, net worth, you know, they start in a point that, you know, they didn't start as a $1 trillion company. And I feel, you know, now, of course, in that scenario, it's not a fair, you know, playground, you know, like you cannot really go and compete with an Apple or a Microsoft. You know, they're just gonna crush you or they're gonna buy you out. But I think in Web3 now, since it's early, you know, we are in that fair playground where we actually, you know, like we were talking with some people from Board A, which is, you know, kind of, it's the biggest collection, you know, like it's like in my perspective, kind of like the Bitcoin of the NFTs. And, you know, we were talking with them and we were seeing like, okay, what we can get out of, you know, not get out of, but like how we can work together, you know, what we could do, you know, in collaborations. In a regular, you know, world like right now, it's impossible for you to get in contact with a company like Apple or something to make something together. They're gonna be like, we don't need you. And
but they will need to adapt.
And they will need to adapt. But that's what I feel like, you know, since now it's an early point, everyone is more receptive, you know, even though there is a lot of, you know, negative sides and negative views on all the crypto and the NFT, because people that are actually trying to just take advantage, but we are still here. There is people that actually want to work and they actually want to do. Yeah, and it happens in every industry, you know.
Industry since 2014. How many cycles of exhaustion and then back into it?
2013, huge rise because people found out they could sell things online that they shouldn't be selling. Went up, and then the government stepped in and went down, and then you had like Mt. Gox and all these things. And then Ethereum comes out, and then they started doing DeFi, and they started doing ICOs and people using tokens for like raising money, which a lot of them were scams. I understand that. But the idea, I'm gonna say the idea of raising money from a collection of people, if you were a good person and you did a good thing, that's a great way to do it. Now, a lot of people get burned with that, and that's why the government steps in.
I feel in every market or every new technology, there is always want to be people that is going to try to go another route. Like even when did you see this Netflix documentary of this guy that he was making fake checks and he fucked Citibank, like literally with a lot of money. And like that was like a scamming on, back then, this guy was making fake checks, and now you have people that, okay, this is a new technology, I feel it's just, again, it's a phase of maturity.
But we came down again off 2017, 2018. Then NFTs started blowing up, right? And then we came back down as well. But the thing I always like to tell people is that every time something comes in, there's a group of people that say, wow, that's super cool. And then they get burned. And other people don't get burned, right? And then we capsize a little bit more, but a lot of those people stay there. And with each peak, there's still more people staying and staying and staying. And they understand that. And maybe you got burned the first time, then you hear it the next time, we're like, okay, let me try it again. Or maybe there's some new technology that makes it safer. Because, by the way, when the early Bitcoin days, you know how people bought Bitcoin? You know how people bought Bitcoin? They would go to like a forum and say, hey, I want to buy 10 Bitcoin or whatever, right? And there would be a guy on the forum that would be like the referee, the escrow that they trusted. There was no smart contracts or anything like that, but they did it. They did it. They found a way.
You want to hear a fun story? So back in Venezuela, when I was living in Venezuela, I come to Miami on 2012. So this is probably like 2011 or something like that. My dad comes to me and he's like, hey, my dad works for Microsoft. He's a programmer. So he's like, oh, you know what? There is this new technology called blockchain, and there is this new coin. It's called Bitcoin. And he's trying to tell me, look, it's kind of like a game for programmers because if you break the code, then you win one of the Bitcoins, and this is worth money. And I was like, okay. And then it was like $40. No, like $20. Like early. So he took it as a hobby, right? So he set up the computer. He set up a computer in his office, just mining Bitcoin early. So it was, it was no big competition. He mined 42 Bitcoins. 42 Bitcoins he mined, right? And he just left the computer at the office. We come, to Miami, and then my dad forgets about the computer. He forgets about the computer. And then, bro, he hears the story that Bitcoin hits like, I don't know, it was like 5K or something. So he reads the news and he's like, oh, like, this hits 5K?
Venezuela news, young boy finds computer with 42 Bitcoin. Eso era mío.
To find the freaking computer. Like they erased the computer. It was back in the office. So a new guy started working in the office and he just restarted the freaking computer, bro. And the Bitcoins were in the freaking computer. And it was 42 Bitcoins. Imagine he holding these fucking 6.
Do you still have the hard drive somewhere?
You hear the what?
Do you still have the hard drive somewhere?
No, I mean, the computer is gone.
Oh my God.
It was in Venezuela, we were already here, like it was hard, and then they just, it was gone. 42.
So I think we need to start wrapping it up. Do you guys want to have any concluding thoughts on like the future?
I want to say something about the community in Web3 that because I'm a content creator, I'm a streamer, and I saw the change of the young people changing TV for a community. So we have communities here in Web3. So that's why I trust in this space, because people is like they have this segmentation in entertainment right now, and we are building communities, and they want to be part of some, So that's why this is freaking amazing. We are so early right now, so we need to keep building this, and I love to be part of Alpha Pro, have the opportunity of being part of a project. But the thing that we can relate with guys like Gianni who have this event, or with Nikki, the gallery, you with the content creation, you have so much experience on NFTs because of you belong to this big, successful NFT project as the Bored Apes, and that's a mission we have right now. That's why we are here.
One thing is like Web 2 companies, very competitive. Web 3 companies, very collaborative. So it's like you are trying to collaborate with all these companies, trying to uplift them, amplify Web 3 by putting this event together. Yeah. You guys are collaborating by doing marketing things and integrating somebody else's art, somebody else's community into your business to amplify your own business. So it's a dual benefit that brands have to understand, that you're no longer just creating to extract value, right? You're creating a community to provide value to your holders, and that's what NFTs help with, is just verifying and continuously doing that seamlessly, right?
And we actually want to also thank you, for actually, I know probably haven't been easy for you logistically, and all the work that you have been put, but, companies like us or all the companies that are going to be in NFT Week, we really thank you because, you give us that opportunity to actually show, the world and show Miami, coming from Miami, what are we able to do and what we do. And, for a company, it might be really hard to get that attraction, by itself. And you're making it happen, and we really appreciate that.
And it was good meeting you for the first time in person. That in real life, things are the most important.
Correct. No, and I'm excited for you to see what we have for Miami NFT Week. I know you're gonna like it. People is gonna like it. We are excited.
Miami NFT Week. Thank you guys for hosting. Alpha Pro, thank you guys for coming on again.
And who are you?
We got MOZY. We got Freelance, the Web3 Experience. The Alpha Podcast in Miami. Let's go. And
Thank you all. Thank you guys.